Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello friends, fans of the Infinite Dilemma channel. This time we will discuss the discovery of a foreign object that fell on the North Pole. The North Pole is known as a foreign area for humans. Only a handful of people have ever been there, so the North Pole is the northernmost part of the Earth that is rarely touched by humans. NASA suspects that there is foreign activity there. The foreign activity is most likely an alien spacecraft landing. Is this a sign of the end of the world? How does America react as a superpower guarding the world? Curious about the story? Keep following Chanel and watch the video, but before that, with sincerity and kindness of viewers, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell. Hopefully the viewers who subscribe are always in good health, their fortune is smooth, those who are starting a business may their business be smooth, and those who are still single may get the woman they want, amen. And the sultans who want to treat women to coffee and fried foods can directly send their SAR. The link is in the description column. Okay, let's go. The cold fog of the Arctic was shattered by a bluish-green beam of light descending slowly from the twilight sky. The shimmering light didn't resemble a typical aurora, it moved with purpose and was amplified by vibrations that could be felt all the way to the nearest research station. Researchers conducting their daily observations immediately halted their activities when the unidentified electromagnetic waves flashed on their radar. In a mixture of amazement and anxiety, they attempted to record the phenomenon, but their thermal cameras captured only an oval silhouette radiating unnatural heat. Even the surrounding ice appeared to melt in a giant circular pattern, as if something powerful had descended and touched the Earth's surface. The entire team gasped as the last beam of light disappeared, leaving a sense of absolute silence. As the first reports were transmitted to NASA Command, the initial suspicions turned into an emergency warning. Scientists realized that whatever had descended was no ordinary atmospheric phenomenon. Something had landed, and it was most likely not man-made. The Arctic has always been a place shrouded in mystery, not only because of its extreme temperatures, but also because of the inability of humans to survive there for long. The region is more like a silent kingdom, touched only by freezing winds and resilient wildlife. There's no civilization, no sound of vehicles, just a white expanse that seems to hide more secrets than meets the eye. Few humans have ever actually set foot on Earth's coldest point, and even fewer have survived long-term. Therefore, any phenomena occurring there often escape public notice, unless recorded by satellites or research stations. The silence and lack of human activity make it the perfect place for something trying to hide from the world's view. NASA understands this all too well. Therefore, when anomalous activity began, they immediately investigated the possibility that something was exploiting the Arctic's isolation to enter Earth's interior unnoticed by most of humanity. NASA's radar began picking up signals that didn't follow the patterns of any satellite, meteorite, or terrestrial aircraft. The signals took the form of repetitive waves that changed intensity every few minutes, as if trying to transmit a message. Initial analysis indicated the signal's frequency was beyond the range of human communication technology. When the signals were mapped, they revealed a denser spiral pattern in the same area where the mysterious light descended. Space communications experts attempted to interpret the pattern, but the pattern was too complex to be considered a natural phenomenon. They realized that a pattern of this magnitude could not have occurred without the intervention of intelligence, whatever kind. Some scientists began whispering about the possibility of extraterrestrials, but the rumors were suppressed to prevent global panic. Nevertheless, behind closed doors, fears that Earth had just received a visiting visitor began to grow. When the Arctic expedition team finally sent back photos of the ice surface cracking in a perfectly symmetrical pattern, NASA could no longer ignore the most extreme suspicions. The broken ice formed in precise circles that were too uniform to be natural fractures caused by temperature shifts. Furthermore, the center of the circles looked like a depression once pressed by a heavy object landing gently. Surface analysis technicians compared these crack patterns to the effects of a conventional aircraft landing, but none matched. Even sophisticated man-made aircraft left far more irregular patterns. It was as if the object that landed there had the ability to perfectly regulate the pressure distribution. The increase in electromagnetic energy waves around the site only strengthened the conclusion that something technologically far more advanced than Earth's had touched the polar surface. With each passing hour, speculation turned to concern. As researchers began observing the area from a distance using specialized drones, they detected a heat signature that persisted in the cold polar winds. The heat pattern wasn't random, it moved like a trail of footsteps that followed a specific direction, suggesting that the entity that descended from the object might have moved. Some trails appeared to stop at ice cliffs that appeared to be slightly ajar, like doors leading to hidden chambers beneath the surface. Scientists believe that if the creature existed, it might have taken refuge there, exploiting the natural structure to avoid detection. This discovery further convinced scientists that they were dealing with something more than just inanimate objects. In a high-level emergency meeting, NASA declared that the scenario of non-terrestrial intelligence was now a possibility that should be seriously considered. While difficult to accept, emerging evidence increasingly leaned in that direction. When news leaked of a potential alien landing, excitement spread rapidly, especially on conspiracy forums, which immediately linked it to signs of the end of the world. Many speculated that the alien presence was the beginning of a planetary destruction scenario as described in various eschatological theories. Collective fear began to rise. However, some public scientists emphasized that a first encounter does not necessarily mean a threat. It could be that the creature came without destructive intent, perhaps simply for observation or initial contact. But the uncertainty and lack of information only furthered public anxiety. Amidst all this, world governments remained silent, making no official statement. This silence only fueled the public's imagination. The question hung in the air: was this the beginning of something big or something terrifying? As a superpower, the United States did not remain silent. The Pentagon activated a secret protocol used only in the event of a potential threat from outer space. A fleet of military satellites was immediately directed to the area of the phenomenon, and classified drones were launched to map the remaining energy signatures. The American president held a closed-door meeting with NASA, the intelligence agency, and the Department of Defense. In the meeting, they considered the possibility that an alien presence could alter global geopolitical dynamics. America realized that if alien technology landed, whoever discovered it first would wield power far beyond any other nation on Earth. Behind the scenes, America even prepared a negotiating team in case any intelligent beings wanted to communicate. They understood that a threat could turn into an opportunity or a disaster, depending on the first step they took. Despite the government's efforts to withhold information, the world still sensed the strange changes in satellite activity and military movements. The media began to question why the Arctic region had suddenly become a no-fly zone for civil aviation. Some countries even suspected that the US was testing a new weapon. When rumors of an alien landing began circulating, the global community was divided into two camps, those who believed and those who laughed. But as more and more data leaked showing unusual electromagnetic activity, it became increasingly difficult to deny that something was happening. Even other powerful nations like Russia and China began demanding an official explanation. The world was in a state of rare tension, as if the entire planet was holding its breath, waiting for answers. A joint team of scientists and American Special Forces was finally dispatched to conduct a direct investigation. The journey to the coordinates was long, navigating an unusual snowstorm, as if nature itself were trying to conceal something. But they pressed on, driven by curiosity and heightened vigilance. Upon arrival, they found the landing basin still emitting a gentle heat, as if the object had recently been lifted or relocated. The team immediately set up analytical equipment, but it was plagued by constantly shifting energy interference. Approaching the gaping ice cliff, some team members sensed a subtle vibration from within, like a living machine. The atmosphere grew tense. Something was down there, something that might be watching them. Around the heat trail, the team discovered a shiny metal fragment that initial analysis couldn't identify. It was heavy but felt warm, and seemed to pulse softly like a living thing. When placed in a scanning device, the energy it radiated surpassed the scale of a machine. Scientists suspected it was a tiny piece of technology far beyond human comprehension. There were even theories that the object wasn't just metal, but a biological technological component that might be part of an alien spacecraft. This discovery was a turning point. NASA finally declared this was not a natural phenomenon. The world needed to prepare for the reality that humans might not be alone. As night fell, a thermal drone captured the movement of something moving quickly beneath the ice floe. Its shape was indistinct, visible only as a slender silhouette with a body temperature far warmer than any Arctic creature. Its movements were too smooth and purposeful to be an animal. The team froze as the object stopped, as if realizing it was being monitored. Within seconds, the thermal signal disappeared, leaving the drone's equipment charred from exposure to unknown energy. This strongly indicated that the creature was not only intelligent but also possessed the ability to control technology. Fear began to creep in among the expedition members. They realized that whatever lay beneath the ice was no mere visitor, it was an entity capable of interacting with human systems. After mounting international pressure, the United States finally held a limited press conference. In a cautious statement, the government acknowledged the presence of physical and electromagnetic anomalies in the Arctic, without directly mentioning aliens. But the world immediately linked this to pre-existing rumors. The global media exploded with speculation, from scientific theories to doomsday theories. Religious leaders, scientists, and geopolitical analysts offered conflicting opinions, creating information chaos. The world hadn't seen such collective anxiety since World War II. Despite this, the United States asserted that the situation was under control and there was no immediate threat to humanity. This statement did not completely reassure the public, but it did provide some measure of stability amidst the uncertainty. The next expedition team discovered a new tunnel that seemed to have appeared suddenly in the past few hours. The tunnel walls were smooth, as if cut with laser technology, but the ice material did not melt as in a normal cutting process. It was as if the ice had separated in a way that modern science could not explain. Even more surprising, the tunnel led to a large chamber that emitted a soft glow from an unseen source. In the center of the chamber was a crystalline structure emitting regular waves of energy, like the notes of cosmic music that were inaudible to the human ear but subtly felt by the body. Scientists began to consider the possibility that the chamber was not simply a hiding place, but some kind of energy station or communication device. As more mysteries were revealed, the realization grew that humanity had only just scratched the surface of something far more profound. At this point, NASA has concluded that whatever is happening in the Arctic is not an immediate threat, but it is also not a phenomenon that can be ignored. The world now realizes that the existence of other intelligent life forms in the universe is no longer just the stuff of fiction. It is a reality unfolding before our eyes. The question of whether this is a sign of the end of the world remains unclear. However, scientists are increasingly inclined to view it as a major event that could change the course of human civilization, either toward destruction or further evolution. Everything depends on how humans perceive and respond to these beings who may have long been observing Earth from afar. Meanwhile, deep beneath the ice, signals are reactivating, forming new patterns never before detected. The world is bracing for something unimaginable, and a new chapter in human history is beginning.